to my channel. Today I'm going to take you along on a day in my life as an autoimmune girly. About a year ago, I was laying out with my mom and my cousins and was reading a book whenever I felt a lump in my throat, was a little bit concerned. So we scheduled an appointment with the doctor and was immediately scheduled for an ultrasound where they mapped out a 4-centimeter thyroid nodule. And if you don't know anything about thyroid nodules, they're very, very common. There's a high percentage of people who have them, but at the point where it gets to 4 centimeters and above, that's where the charts end. And that's where it becomes clear that time is of the essence to figure out what's going on and if the nodule is cancerous or if it's still growing and it causing problems with your swallowing and your breathing. And if it is causing any issues with your swallowing or breathing, then doctors would typically recommend that you have it taken out. But before we got to that point, we decided to go ahead and schedule the biopsy to see if the nodule was cancerous, and it came back benign. So we started discussing options about either working with a endocrinologist or a functional medicine doctor. And my family felt more comfortable working with a functional medicine doctor, and so that's the route we went with. I think it was about July or August, one of those was whenever we went down the path of drawing blood, figuring out what's going on, what's wrong. And we knew that it was hypothyroidism, but we don't know exactly the extent of it. And honestly, it's really hard to get a definitive diagnosis from any doctor regarding autoimmune issues whatsoever. The only thing that I've been told definitively is that we are trying to heal my gut, heal my thyroid, and regulate hormonal issues. It has been glossed over that it's very likely that I have a Hashimoto's thyroiditis. And so that is an autoimmune condition in which my body is basically fighting itself. To combat that, I've had to completely change my diet. I went onto the autoimmune protocol. I forgot what this API, autoimmune protocol. I don't remember what it's called, but there's a certain diet where you basically cut out all basic foods that everybody eats. And I did that for a while to try to heal my gut lining, but it's not very sustainable. In my opinion, some people can do it really well. I'm just not one of them. What I am at now, at this pretty much year point since starting this whole journey and starting to cut out different foods from my diet and trying to work out what works for my body and what doesn't. At this point, I am primarily gluten and dairy free. It's still a bummer. I've gotten mostly used to it, but it's still sad whenever I go out to eat with friends or if I go to people's houses and they make food and I can't eat it. I feel kind of like a jerk for not partaking. And that's kind of the hard thing about having an autoimmune thing is nobody else sees it except for you. It's the symptoms that you're having, they sound like just typical symptoms that anybody could experience. And it's why don't you just get over it? Why don't you just tough it out and just do it anyway? So while I don't have a technical diagnosis for Hashimoto's, I still operate as if I do, because to me that is the best way. And that is the way that has been working so far in my daily lifestyle, mainly avoiding gluten, dairy, like I said, and then stress however I can avoid it. And it's bad too because I hate cooking. I'm not a good cook. I don't like all the different things that it takes to make food actually good. And so my rotation usually involves very straightforward, very easy to put together, repetitive meals. Time to start a day in the life of an autoimmune girly. It's actually really gloomy outside today too. So it's kind of a bummer to be filming this today because I'm trying to romanticize a realistic day in my life a little bit, but it feels kind of impossible because it's I can't use any natural light right now. I have to use overhead lights, and I hate overhead lights so much. And then our lamps are all just cozy, so it's not good for videoing. Oh, okay. These are nuggets. Normally I use tenders, but this is the Real Good chicken tenders that I use. They're gluten-free, grain-free, and I just pop them into the air fryer for 15 minutes on 350, I think. Yeah, and they come out and they're done. What more could you want? So while those are cooking. You'll probably hear the ticking of the cooker. Sorry about that. But while those are cooking, I'm gonna try these sourdough chips. Oh, sourdough crackers that my mom made. She's really big into making sourdough, and she's really good at it, which I appreciate because sourdough is one of the few like bread products that I can actually eat because it's good for your gut health and microbiome. I'm not exactly sure. And like that's something I should note is that like while I'm gluten-free, I'm not a celiac where it's gonna kill me. Like if I eat something that's been cross-contaminated, I'm probably gonna be fine. I've just noticed that ever since I've officially cut out gluten and dairy from my diet, anytime that I do eat something that specifically contains those things, I end up like super bloated, uncomfortable. If it's bad enough, if the strain is bad enough, or if I eat it straight up, I can end up with like flu-like symptoms, just completely exhausted, achy, like zero energy whatsoever. So that's why I really am trying to avoid these things and not just slack as much as I can. But also, if it happens, it happens. I'm not gonna die. But for the most part, we're chilling. So here's a sourdough cracker. It says sourdough everything bagel crackers. That should be fine. Oh, good. The only thing I ever really do is I check ingredients for wheat or dairy. Like that's the most that I kind of look into. So it's fine. You're probably like, okay, so you're about to eat. What are you doing? Don't we all need a little snack while we're cooking? Isn't that like culturally accepted? Love supplementing my meals with fruit. I think that's probably my favorite carb, but I love sourdough and rice and potatoes and french fries. So I love carbs. So today has been a day where I've been abnormally fatigued and I don't really know why. I don't know, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's something I ate yesterday. It's possible. So today has turned out to be a very boring day. I'm just going down my driveway right now, by the way. But today has been a very boring day for a day in my life. And I apologize for that. I'm gonna come back in a second and talk some more. Okay, so I just got to my cousin's house. We usually go work out together around like 5:30 or 6 every evening, or at least we used to back whenever we were consistent about it. But ever since I started YouTube, my priorities have been always making sure that I was getting the next video done. And he's been busy working. I see my cousins inside the window. Shout out to Lexi whenever she watches this eventually. I'm watching you do your math right now. But anyway, yeah, so we used to be super consistent about going to the gym. Haven't been in a very, very long time. It's been months since I've been consistent. But I feel like my fatigue has gotten worse since I've stopped going to the gym. And so since today has been one of those days where I'm just like struggling to just like function, I think forcing myself to get out and work out will actually help with that. And so that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go lift weights with my cousin and a friend and just see if we can get some energy back.
Water. It smells like after a month. Every month. She said.
Just taste it. In the last 3 days.
They add
ask for chocolate milk.
And she said that if you
It's not mixing. Just gotta keep on stirring. And try it. This is gluten-free. Let's try this again. What am I doing? I have to put flour down on this?
a little bit.
The bottom one?
That's fun.
Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and in this video, this will be the first episode of a new series called Casey's Kitchen. And Casey stands for Carla Carr. Sorry about the dishwasher, but I know I don't make matcha right, but who has the time to do it correctly when this is basically the same thing? Then we're gonna pour the rest of the almond milk caramel macchiato. And look at that. It looks like a matcha. Alright, here's the lowdown of what I get from Chick-fil-A. Not this, sadly. Half and half sweet tea, french fries, and an 8-piece grilled nugget. And like a butt ton of Chick-fil-A sauce. Now, there's something about this meal that makes me sick every single time, and I haven't figured out what that is yet. I also refuse to cut anything out, so what are you doing?
Cheese with my chicken nuggets instead of cottage cheese. I'm gonna warm it up. I'm gonna put buffalo sauce on it with my
You have to say it again
nuggets.
because you can't hear that over the tapping.
This is cottage cheese.
Oh my god. What'd you do with your cookies? Did you make your cookies?
I helped her. She thought I was gonna read the Hunger Games for it, but...
You have to read the Hunger Games.
Oh, is this for a YouTube video? Mm-hmm. Hi, how you doing?
Tell me more about your cookies.
They're pretty good.
Why are they blue?
Because Sally, Kirsty's mom, she had an argument with her step-husband about blue food. He said that there is no such thing. So she went out of her way to make blue food. It's the origin of the blue cookies.
Isn't that Percy Jackson's favorite food is blue cookies?
What's blue food? So
Blue food in general. And
Yeah.
we're watching Percy Jackson.
yeah.
And that's the general gist.
Okay, I will break it down on why the show is good but not that good. Hey, just wondering, is this going on to YouTube?
Do I have your permission to put it on YouTube?
Sure, you can put me on YouTube.
Alright guys, I was just pulling my lunch out of the air fryer and realized that I never did the outro for yesterday's video, A Day in My Life, which turned out to be 2-ish days in my life, which I don't know why I did that because they ended up being kind of the same. But anyway, I'm just glad that I was able to take you guys along on a little bit of my journey, a little bit of somebody who's autoimmune and kind of in denial about it. Whenever I first found out about all this stuff, I struggled a lot with changing my lifestyle, and as you can see, I didn't do it very well. I just kind of stick to the things that I know. If you have any experience with this, or you have any ideas of foods I might like, I'm actually really picky, so go ahead and drop them in the comments. I may or may not try them. I kind of stick to what I know. I look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Or if you're not quite there yet, then watch another video. Or don't, that's completely your choice. Either way, I'll leave these here just in case. See you in the next one!